Welcome to If News. Hit that subscribe button and ring that bell so you never miss a breaking story.
It's news time again. The stories I have for you today range from UFOs and disclosure to lake monsters and mysterious eggs found in the Antarctic. Let's start out with a story that confirms what many have long believed true. The US military claimed they wrapped their investigations into UFO phenomena with the closing of the Project Blue Book. Many say that this was a lie and that for decades after, a secret group investigated sightings and other evidence from both military and public witnesses. In recent news, this was addressed with the addition of a new secret UFO program that for years has been hidden. A wing of the US Navy known as the UFO Task Force, and in yet another move closer to full disclosure, US Senator Marco Rubio wants this group to release its data on aerial phenomena threats. The release of the information about this secret task force existence is a surprising public admission to the fact that the military do take the UFO phenomena seriously. In addition to Senator Rubio's data request, which came in June 17th, the Select Committee of Intelligence Reports authored by Rubio on the Intelligence Authorization Act for fiscal years 2021. The information contained in the report detailed how the committee works with and supports the work of the task force and the methods that they use to collect and standardize data regarding unidentified aerial phenomena and the investigation of alleged links to foreign governments and potential threats. However, the committee remains concerned that there is no unified, comprehensive process within the federal government for collecting and analyzing intelligence on unidentified aerial phenomena despite the potential threat, the report stated. The group requested that the committee and the Director of Naval Intelligence, working with the Secretary of Defense and the other agency officials who work with or are part of this program. The request needs them to submit a report which includes potential threats posed by unidentified aerial phenomena, detailed analysis of unidentified aerial phenomena data from the Office of Naval Intelligence, an analysis of FBI data on investigations regarding unidentified aerial phenomena, and finally, incidents or patterns that indicate foreign adversaries may have achieved breakthroughs in aerospace capabilities. The time frame for this information to be delivered is only 180 days from the signing of the Intelligence Authorization Act for 2021, so we don't have long to wait to see just what they know. The efforts of the senator and his committee could finally bring us an official answer to the question, is humanity alone in the universe? In a related article, the latest calculations performed during a scientific study suggested that there could be at least 36 intelligent alien civilizations within our own galaxy. Others have claimed a much higher number. It would be nice if he gives us a little more detail here. Which species is he talking about? Is he letting us know, albeit in a cryptic way, that the Greys, reptilians, and other popular alien species are here on this planet? Over the many years the sightings of UFOs have been reported, the federal government has released footage of encounters with mysterious unidentified aerial phenomena. In April, the Pentagon declassified videos from 2004 and 2015 that clearly showed saucer-looking objects, a video that has been seen by just about the entire planet by now. DoD is releasing the videos in order to clear up any misconceptions by the public on whether or not the footage that has been circulating was real or whether or not there is more to these videos. And the agency said in a statement released along with the clips, the aerial phenomena observed in the videos remains characterized as unidentified. So, from outer space to the Outer Hebrides, it's time to look at cryptozoological story and the recent picture that has been sweeping the net that claims to show our old friend Nessie. A photograph by a holidaymaker at the Scottish Loch has triggered much online debate, with people being split into two camps, those that say, yes, the cryptid creature of the Loch is real, and those that say it's just another picture in a long line of hoaxes. The man fortunate to capture Nessie on film is a Steve Challis. He told the UK's Daily Record that he first witnessed ripples in the surface of the water and thought that they were being caused by a big fish. This all occurring during the man's trip to Urquhart Castle in 2019. It only appeared in one shot, and to be honest, that was something of a fluke, Challis stated to the interested news reporters. He said that he thought he was seeing a giant fish of about 2.5 meters long, which was seen from his distance of 10 meters away. The picture shows a large grey and speckled hump breaking the loch's glass-like waters. The idea that the lake monster is a fish has long been put forward. Most recently, a study suggested a giant eel could be behind some reports of the cryptid. Others say a giant catfish could be the culprit. The Wells catfish, to be specific, a species that can grow to a massive size and is found throughout Europe. Let's get back to Mr. Challis's statement. He said, "I took this in Loch Ness last September, but I don't know what kind of fish it is." He posted on the Facebook group Anomalous Universe asking people what they saw in the water. Wading into the debate, pun intended, Roland Watson, the moderator of the Loch Ness Mystery blog, viewed the pictures and reached out to Challis about the photo, believing the images to be fake and wanting to garner some extra details on the sighting that may support the picture's validity. If this is a genuine picture of a creature in Loch Ness, it would easily rank in the top 3 of all time, Mr. Watson shared with the outlet. Watson went on to explain why he considered the picture to be a fake. Several people have suggested the snap looked like a computer-generated image. Challis shot it down and said he loved the idea of computer-generated images, but said he's not good at it. However, after doing some digging, Watson said he discovered that Challis is employed in the field of creating CGI, computer-generated image, for many media types. If he did create the fake image, it's very disappointing. Firstly, that is not a real picture of the mystery animal, and secondly, it's people creating fakes that detract from the study of cryptozoology. People are fearful that they will be tricked and lose credibility when something they supported is revealed to be a fraud. It's something that is a pet peeve of mine. Watson goes on to say, "So, I first found out more about our photographer and discovered on his LinkedIn page that he was a 3D graphical artist and he had a portfolio of images of various constructions, such as one below," Watson explained in his blog. To be clear, he earns a living creating CGI computer-generated images. "I could have performed further analysis, but at this stage, there are discrepancies which need to be answered first and which currently render this photograph unusable as evidence for a large creature in Loch Ness," said Watson. Watson then told how his group had consulted an expert on CGI and that it was their belief the photograph was most likely created using a computer program such as Photoshop. This due to the level of color saturation and the blurred, indistinct lines which outlined the cryptid in the photo. As many know, Nessie has been said to be a living plesiosaur, a living dinosaur. Stories of living dinosaurs reach from South America to Africa, and in somewhat of a related story, the Antarctic is now giving up a few more of its secrets in regards to its ancient behemoths. Scientists in America are a few steps closer to solving the riddle of a large strange fossil discovered in Antarctic back in 2011. They said it is highly probable that it is an enormous soft shell egg which was laid by an extinct giant sea lizard. The fossilized egg was found by Chilean scientists. The specimen was thought to have been left unlabeled and unstudied in the collection of Chile's National Museum of Natural History. The museum christened the fossil the Thing, as they were unsure of what it was. The object, that has the appearance of a deflated football sculpted in rock, was examined by the University of Texas, who uncovered that the Thing was actually a 66-million-year-old soft shell egg. With a size of 11 by 7 inches, it is the second largest egg of any known animal. Another first for the fossil is that it is the first fossil egg to have been found in the frozen Antarctica. The egg itself is somewhat of a revelation and smashes previously held views of how big soft-shell eggs could grow. In addition to the huge size of the fossil, it is significant as it is thought to come from an extinct giant marine reptile such as a mosasaur, a rare discovery and one that challenges the prevailing thought that such creatures did not lay eggs. The mosasaur also has links to an Alaskan sea serpent. Story linked above. Commenting on the rare find of the aquatic dinosaur egg, the researchers said, "It's from an animal the size of a large dinosaur, but it is completely unlike a dinosaur egg. It is most similar to the eggs of lizards and snakes, but it is from a true giant relative of these animals." Chile's National Museum of Natural History and co-author of the study, David Rubila Rogers, showed every geologist who came to the museum just what he had found back in 2011. This in the hope that someone would have an idea what it was. David had no luck until Julia Clark, a professor in the Jackson School's Department of Geological Sciences, visited back in 2018. I showed it to her, and after a few minutes, Julia told me it could be a deflated egg, Dr. Rubella Rogers said. The egg was then analysed by microscopic study of the specimen, and Dr. Legendary found several layers of membrane showing that the fossil was indeed an egg. The structure is remarkably like a transparent, quick-hatching egg laid by some snakes and lizards today, he said. However, because the fossil egg is hatched and contains no skeleton, it's hard to identify what species it came from. It is an amazingly fortunate discovery, as eggs like this are rarely found. Many authors have hypothesized that this was a sort of nursery site with shallow protected water, a cove environment where the young ones would have had a quiet setting to grow up, Dr. Legendary said. This protective setting ensuring that the egg would become fossilized so that we could find it today. Researchers then went on to give two competing theories about the mosasaur egg-laying behavior. The first said the egg would hatch in open water. This is the same as how some species of sea snakes give birth today. The second involves the reptile depositing the eggs on a beach and hatchlings scuttling into the ocean like baby sea turtles. This idea is interesting as it links with cryptids like Nessie and other lake and sea monsters being spotted on land. Could they too be laying eggs in hidden nesting sites? The researchers said that this second approach would depend on some fancy maneuvering by the mother because giant marine reptiles were, or possibly are, too heavy to support their own body weight on dry land. They said these aquatic giants, when laying eggs, would need to wriggle a tail onto shore while keeping their huge bodies submerged and supported by the water. We can't exclude the idea that they shoved their tail end up on shore, because nothing like this has ever been discovered, Professor Clark said. What did you think about the stories? Are we on the edge of disclosure? Was the Nessie photograph genuine? And could the discovery of the fossil egg have ties to lake monsters and serpents of legend? Let me know what you think in the comments below. As always, if you like what I do here on the channel, hit that red button, like and share. You can catch the latest by searching We Are If. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you next time.